Hello and welcome everyone to episode 155 of the Living Healthy Today podcast. My name is Carol Lee Cohen. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, certified sports nutritionist, health and wellness consultant, weight management consultant, and master nutritionist. And maybe more importantly, have spent a lot of time looking for the answers for my own health issues. So not only have I read the research, but I've applied it to my own life to try and help myself. I've had the great opportunity to work with supplement manufacturing, to advise on formulation, and also as a healthcare professional helping other people. So when I'm looking at something and evaluating it, I'm looking for something that will actually make a difference both in my life, my family's lives, and the people that I work with. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics when it comes to making a difference. And before we get into products and information about health concerns, we need to read our disclosure statement. So remember that the following information in this podcast is for educational purposes only, not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The statements presented here have not been evaluated by the FDA. This information is not a substitute for medical advice, nor are product substitutes for prescribed medication. Consult your personal physician or other healthcare professional for help with diseases, and always work with a professional if you're discontinuing or modifying medication or supplements. And along with that, I would also encourage you to do your own research and to consult your own common sense. And one of the reasons that I do this podcast is because of these statistics, trying to change this trajectory because this is touching far too many lives. So if we look between 1990 and 2019, we've had a 41% increase in deaths from heart disease. We've had a 50% increase in people being diagnosed with celiac, Crohn's, IBS, IBD. We've had a 50% increase in food allergies in children. We've had a 300% increase in the need for treatment so that we can have children in infertility treatments. We've had a 300% increase in diabetes. We've had a 783% increase in deaths from Alzheimer's. We've had a 4,200% increase in autism. Now, these numbers are extremely unacceptable, obviously, and you might be asking the question of why are we facing such a rising tide of diseases? And there's obviously more than one answer, but the main reasons that we run into as we work with people, as we look at research, are these four things, and together they stand for TIDE. The first one is toxins. This is everything from pollution in our air, food, and water to toxic vaccines. Inflammation. Inflammation is behind a lot of chronic diseases, especially a lot of autoimmune type illnesses. Digestion. We have severely damaged digestion because of our inflammation, because of the toxic environment we live in. And then we have essential nutrients, and we have a huge lack of these essential nutrients. And you're going to learn about some of the things that lacking those nutrients causes today. So when we talk about essential nutrition, why do we say essential nutrition and not just nutrition? Because essential nutrients are nutrients that your body can't make. You have to take them in from your diet. And if you don't, you're going to get sick. There's 90 to 100 of these that we know of, right? Science keeps finding more, but there's at least 60 to 70 essential minerals that we find in all healthy people. And that's actually going to be the focus of today's episode, is all about what minerals do. And maybe I should say what happens when we don't have them too. So we're going to talk about the power of minerals. And we're going to go over 3 points: what they do, how you can tell if you need more minerals, and some of the amazing support products that we have available if you want to increase your mineral intake. So starting with what do minerals do? They're essential for the formation of DNA, collagen, skin, and bones. They're a must-have in the functioning of your muscles, your nerves, thyroid, immune system, metabolism, and just the body's ability to heal. And they're also essential for blood sugar and blood pressure control, two health concerns that are at epidemic levels in today's society. So what's the difference between a vitamin and a mineral? Because a lot of times we just lump them together and don't think much about it. Well, plants can make vitamins, but they need minerals to make those vitamins correctly. And plants don't make minerals at all. The minerals have to come from the soil. The plants absorb them from the soil. And one of the huge problems that we have today is that with modern farming practices, we don't fertilize our soils with all these minerals. So they're becoming super depleted. You know, when we think of fertilizer, we think of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, that NPK, right? And that's all we do. And we're going to talk about why that's such an issue. So when we're talking about minerals, the form matters. So I'm going to show you, actually, let's go back here. So we have a graphic, and as we click through it, you can see the first step is the bacteria in the soil. These are the good bacteria, just like you think of probiotics. They break down minerals. So the minerals are in a raw form in the soil that's not absorbable. You can kind of think of this like, have you ever walked up to red dirt and thought, man, I want to eat some of that because it has minerals? Probably not. Well, they're not super absorbable that way anyway. The dirt's usually red because it's maybe got iron in it, right? Well, the bacteria breaks down those minerals into tiny little pieces, and then our plants absorb those minerals, and the plants use them to feed themselves, but they also remain in the plants so that we get those benefits. But when they've gone through the plants, they're now super broken down. If you want to see this in a simpler version, this is what it looks like. Again, it starts with the bacteria breaking down those big minerals that are in the soil, breaking down the rocks. The plants absorb the minerals. Now they're in the plants, and we're supposed to be eating these minerally dense plants. And this is the way it works in a perfect society. Now, let's talk about some of the functions of minerals. So calcium is necessary for proper structure and function of bones and teeth. It assists in muscle function and blood vessel contraction. Phosphorus is part of bone and cell membrane structure. Phosphorus actually gives your physical structure, your physical skeleton, both strength and flexibility. Magnesium assists with over 300 enzyme reactions, including the regulation of blood pressure. Sodium is an electrolyte that aids fluid balance and maintenance of blood pressure. Imagine that. You know, it's really interesting with sodium because we're told to avoid it so that your blood pressure doesn't go up, right? And yet, do you know that if you end up in the emergency room for absolutely any reason, they never check your salt levels? They start giving you a salt IV, a sodium chloride IV, just in case you don't have enough salt in your blood and you're having electrolyte issues. And maybe that's why you had a problem in the first place. They only adjust that after they run lab tests, but like that's a frontline emergency medical procedure that's done all the time. Chloride, found together with sodium, used to make digestive juices. If you don't have enough sodium chloride, did you know that your stomach can't make proper stomach acid to properly digest food? This is why people that go on a salt restricted diet, sodium chloride being the name of salt, actually have huge trouble with digestion. Potassium. It's an electrolyte that maintains fluid status in cells and helps with nerve transmission and muscle function. Did you know that if your potassium levels drop too low, that you'll actually have trouble breathing because your lungs don't have that electrolyte to expand and contract as you breathe? I've actually had this experience where my potassium levels dropped so low that I couldn't breathe properly. Lack of potassium can cause paralysis in your digestive tract or of your heart or your lungs, as I just mentioned. Sulfur, part of every living tissue and contained in the amino acids methionine and cysteine. Iron helps provide oxygen to muscles and assists in the creation of certain hormones. We're all familiar with iron deficiency anemia, where you don't have enough to produce the right kind of blood cells and now you're very low in energy. Manganese, it assists in carbohydrate, amino acid, and cholesterol metabolism. So sometimes when you're having trouble with carbohydrates, it's literally a mineral deficiency that the body's not able to convert them properly. And for my science nerds, you can see that all of these slides have the links to where this information is taken from. So I'm not just making it up. Like this particular article comes from Healthline. Copper. It's required for connective tissue formation as well as normal brain and nervous system function. Did you know that a lack of copper is one of the things that contributes to SIDS, or sudden infant death syndrome. Because when there's a lack of copper in the brain, you can have a heart attack, you can have a stroke, and you can simply have critical essential functions in the body just stop at the drop of a hat. So copper is far more critical than people realize. Zinc, necessary for normal growth, immune function, and wound healing, as well as taste and smell. Iodine assists in thyroid regulation, also helps protect against radiation. Selenium, important for thyroid health, reproduction, and defense against oxidative damage. Now, selenium is kind of copper's twin, because selenium is another factor when it comes to that SIDS, those heart attacks, those strokes, because selenium and copper work together to keep your artery function healthy and working as it should. It's critical for the heart. It's critical for detox. It's critical for the liver. So many things that duo, just those two. And remember, that's just two of 60 to 70 that we know of that we have to have. So here's something that a lot of people don't recognize. We crave sweets or sugar when our body is low on minerals. This is why so many people are so addicted to sweet things. I don't care if it's candy, fruit, or bread, which is very high in carbohydrates that turn into sugar. So when there are more minerals in something, it tastes sweet. So our body understands that when something is sweet, it's supposed to be high in minerals. Now, unfortunately, in today's modern world, that isn't what happens, but that's what our body's thinking. So the BRIC score is a measurement of how sweet something is. And if you're a farmer and you want to increase the sweetness of your crop that you're raising, you want to increase the minerals. So you can actually see these are actual readings. We have some corn here. In the first year, the BRICS reading was 13.4. They added minerals. The second year, it was 17.6. And the next year is 24.1. And that's an increase in the sweetness. So people actually like the taste better, but because there's more minerals, they're not eating as much because now they're more satiated. And you see the same thing with the asparagus. You're watching the BRICS score go up as they use more minerals. So in some countries where they have more farmers market style buying and people actually taste things before they take them home, right? They will use the minerals as a competitive advantage, believe it or not. Now, how can you tell if you need more minerals? Nutrient deficiencies or diseases can be the result of poor nutritional intake, chronic health conditions, acute health conditions, medications. You know, this is one of the things that really gets to me because a lot of prescription medications actually strip out essential minerals and essential vitamins. And they themselves, while solving one problem temporarily, cause nutrient deficiencies. Continuing on, nutritional deficiencies can be the result of altered nutrient metabolism or a combination of these factors and can impact the levels of both macronutrients and micronutrients in the body. So a macronutrient would be something like calcium that we need a lot of, and micro would be something like manganese that we need a little bit of. They can lead to alterations in energy metabolism, immune function, cognitive function, bone formation, and or muscle function, as well as growth and development if the deficiency is present during fetal development and early childhood. Did you know that a simple zinc deficiency can cause Down syndrome if the zinc is missing at the right time in fetal development? And there's so many other diseases that work like this, where it's simply a lack of a critical nutrient at the right time in development. And as we talk about some of those things, we can prevent a lot of these health conditions with proper nutrition and good health, diet, lifestyle, but reversing them is very challenging. Now, how is our mineral status doing in the United States anyway? So Dr. Linus Pauling, winner of 2 Nobel Prizes, stated, "You can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency." Remember, they're 2/3 of our essential nutrients. Now, here's a fun fact. This is from the United States Senate document number 264. It was presented in, wait for it, 1936. And this first screenshot is a direct quote that's in the article itself. And I've linked the article in case you want to read it for yourself, or I should say the Senate document. "It is bad news to learn from our leading authorities that 99% of the American people are deficient in these minerals." Again, 1936. "And that a marked deficiency in any one or more of the important minerals actually results in disease. Any upset of the balance, any considerable lack of one or another element, however microscopic the body requirement may be, and we sicken, suffer, and shorten our lives." Direct quote. And when I actually Googled United States Senate document 264, because I wanted to pull up these quotes, this is what Google did as its top summary, is this next quote that I'm going to read to you. In 1936, Rex Beach presented Senate document 264 to the United States Senate, which discussed Dr. Charles Northern's research on the mineral depletion of American soil. The document states that 99% of Americans were deficient in minerals, and that a lack of minerals in food could lead to starvation and disease. It also suggests that even microscopic deficiencies can cause sickness and shorten lives. So as essential nutrients in our foods have gone down, diseases have gone up. So what you're looking at on the left side is research from 1940. Do you think it's gotten any better? Sodium down 49%, potassium down 16%. Potassium hasn't dropped as much because it is something we put in our fertilizers, that NPK. Magnesium is down 24%. Calcium's down 46%. Iron is down 27%. Copper is down 76%. Now, if you look on the right side of the screen, we have got some research, and this is the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 1997. And it shows a graph here. It says decreasing foodborne minerals versus increasing mineral deficiency diseases. So what this is showing is the blue dotted line is showing your mineral depletion, your minerals going down, and your diseases, the red line is your diseases going up. And you can obviously see what the trend is doing there. It's skyrocketing. The red line represents that increase of mineral deficiency diseases in every 500 people. Now, here's one that we can spotlight, and this is magnesium. So the refining and processing of food can reduce magnesium by 82 to 97%. So whatever magnesium your food had in it, if you're eating it super processed, well, it got taken out through manufacturing and refining. According to Dr. Romani, Case Western Reserve School of Medicine, magnesium is required for many of the major organs to function and is essential for the structure of bones and teeth. It acts as a cofactor for more than 300 enzymes in the body, including binding to ATP for energy production, the kinase reactions. It affects the permeability of excitable membranes and neuromuscular transmission, i.e. the signals from nerves to muscles. The average American diet provides only 40%, less than half of the magnesium that we all need in a day. So that means that 60% of the RDA we have to actually get. Did you know that in emergency medicine, one of the most commonly used things is magnesium? It's what they use if you show up with preeclampsia, if you show up with crazy high blood pressure, and that magnesium used properly and at the right time can actually stop heart attacks and strokes in progress. These are things that are used in emergency room medicine, and we're not told anything about. Now, obviously, when they're using them in the emergency room situation, you know, they have the benefit of IVs, they can measure things, they can give you huge amounts. I'm not saying that, you know, taking a supplement in a situation like this is going to turn it around. I'm just saying these are the elements that standard Western medicine often uses in emergency situations. So common signs of a magnesium deficiency. The main symptoms of severe magnesium deficiency include abnormal heart rhythm. Has anyone ever heard of AFib? Muscle cramps, restless leg syndrome, fatigue, and migraines, or most other headaches for that matter. Imagine that, one simple mineral. More subtle long-term symptoms that you may not notice of mineral deficiencies include insulin resistance and high blood pressure. So here are some of the times when you can benefit from taking extra minerals. When you're dealing with cravings, did you know that a lot of food cravings are nothing more than mineral deficiencies? In the ag industry, we know this is pica or cribbing, where the horse goes and tries to eat the fence because they're craving minerals. And what farmers know is we put out a mineral-rich salt block for them, and they stop destroying the fence, and they're healthier. So for us, we don't usually go chew on the furniture to handle our cravings. Instead, we reach for snacks, we reach for soda. Some people turn to more harmful things like drugs or alcohol or smoking or other food scenarios that are really bad for us. And a classic sign of this is when you've just eaten and 30 minutes later, you're like, I know I just took on all these calories, but I'm hungry again. You see this a lot in children because they're growing rapidly and they're needing a huge intake of minerals, and it's not in our food. So this is why they just eat and they're like, I'm super hungry. They are. You're minerally hungry. You're not calorie hungry. You can eat calories all day and not get these minerals. So if you're trying to break an addiction of any kind, even if it's just to snacking, minerals are one of your greatest allies. And if you're trying to lose weight, imagine if suddenly your appetite's way down. You think you're going to lose weight better? Of course you are. This is a lot of times the reason why people are overeating in the first place is because they're minerally hungry. They're minerally starving, even though they have plenty of calories. What about stiff shoulders or leg cramps? If you've been doing something extra strenuous with your muscles, with your joints, you're going to need extra minerals because you've been working harder. It's just like if you're driving a car, you need more gas if you're going to drive across the country than if you're going to drive 5 miles down the road. Our bodies are the same way. We need more gas when we're under more stress or we're doing more work. And that gas for the body is minerals. Joint pain. Most of the nutrients that make up healthy bones and joints are minerals. Things like calcium, boron, strontium, sulfur, magnesium. When you need increased energy, when the minerals aren't there, the body doesn't have all the necessary nutrients it needs to do all the myriad of cellular processes that keep your energy up. It's always a good idea to take your minerals with food. And the reason for this is, remember, in a perfect world, the minerals would all be in the soil because we're taking care of our soil, we're farming properly, we're renewing that soil. And so we just get it through our food and we wouldn't even have to think about supplements. That's the way it was all designed. Unfortunately, we don't live in that world anymore. So when you take those minerals with the food, it almost tricks the body into thinking, hey, the food is really nutritious, so I don't need to eat the whole pan of brownies. One will be enough, right? Maybe two if they're really good, because I know those are amazing. Okay, so let's talk about some of the ways that we can get these extra minerals. So when we're looking at the products that we have available to us through the amazing Top Shelf Nutra, the first one I want you to look at is the GTM Heirloom Botanicals product. This product has ginger, turmeric, muscadine, and the minerals in it. So right off the bat, this is a product that can help us with these essential minerals, as well as support our digestion, help with inflammation, provide some of those antioxidants, and that immune support. So that's a great all-in-one product. But if you want to take it to the next level, we want to talk about the Sport and Go. And this is such a fantastic product that I can't wait to be available. In fact, I just heard that it's going to be out in the month of June. So that's actually a little sooner than I thought it was going to be. So very excited about that. This is one of my all-time favorite products. It has those 70 plus plant minerals in it. It's got 8 vitamins. Those are the methylated B vitamins that are better absorbed and can provide quicker energy and work for anybody that's got the MTHFR situation going on. There's bioflavonoids in them, amino acids, and even some adaptogens, some of those herbs that help us with our hormonal and stress responses. So this product is one of my favorites anytime someone tells me they want to have a better functioning thyroid, better kidney function, they want more energy, or they're just dealing with a lot of stress. The Daily Detox, another product that's going to be available very shortly, even ahead of the Sport and Go. This one also has the 70 plus plant minerals. It's got the dandelion root that, of course, we know for detox. It's got hawthorn berry, which supports kidney function by supporting the arteries, tiny arteries of the kidneys. It helps the cardiovascular system. Milk thistle, which is well known for that liver and detox support. Calcium bentonite clay that helps with both detox and digestion. So those are 3 products that are either available right now in the GTM Heirloom Botanicals, and then the Sport and Go and Daily Detox tea coming very soon. And then we have our Relax product coming out probably sometime in July. And this product is our go-to one for any of you that noticed yourself in all those magnesium deficiency symptoms. That's really what this product is focused around. And then later on, we will also have a liquid multivitamin that has all of the essential vitamins plus the minerals. So these are some of the great products that you can use through Top Shelf Nutra to start working on some of those mineral deficiencies and supporting your body's overall health. And again, I want to stress that none of these products are going to treat, prevent, cure any disease. That's not what we do here, but they will support your goals in having better overall health. This is a GTM Heirloom Botanicals, just showing you again what's in it. That one's available now. The ginger, the turmeric, the muscadine, and those wonderful minerals that we've been talking about. And for those of you that have been following Top Shelf Nutra, I just want to go over the list of products that we have up on launch because we've had some added. So we'll have the GTM Heirloom Botanicals I already mentioned. We'll have the ginger, turmeric, and muscadine separately. We'll have those wonderful culinary sizes of the ginger and turmeric, both the glass jars and the plastic ones. So if you're into cooking or you want to use it on your food or even add extra to some of your supplements, you can always do that. The bentonite clay powder will be available soon. We've got the bone and joint, the lax, the tea tree, the ATP balance. We'll have a limited run of the Vital Shake until we get in our full run. And then we also have available the muscadine seed oil. So that's a great product that I love using for that help with both skincare and if you're looking for some support with weight loss. Of course, we have the Sport and Go coming soon. We have the detox tea, the daily detox tea that's almost here. And we also will have the coffee very shortly, followed by the Relax in July, hopefully. And I just want to remind you that if you have not yet, make sure that if you want to get started with Top Shelf, that you join us by May 31st. You'll get that yearly subscription paid in one shot for $150 plus your local tax. You'll save $30. You get 2 months free, and you'll get that instant $25 product credit to try out any of Top Shelf's amazing products. If you want to know more about Top Shelf or stay up to date on all of our announcements, you can join our Top Shelf Telegram channel. Here's the link. I'll go ahead and put it in the show notes and resources underneath this episode, so you can click on it from there. And finally, if you're a new listener to Living Healthy Today, welcome. You can find all of our prior episodes at livinghealthytoday.podbean.com. You can also download the Podbean app and follow Living Healthy Today. always make sure to check those show notes and resources because we always list any articles, any fact sheets. So like all of the information that I shared, all those articles, I'll post all the links. So if you want to read the whole article, you're welcome to. If you'd like to order any of the products we talked about, either reach out to the person who shared this podcast with you, or if you just happened on the podcast, you can also reach out to me personally at info@wellnesssprings.inc.com or from the contact section on wellnesssprings.inc.com. And as always, if you find any of our episodes helpful, please feel free to share them. If you'd like to submit questions or topics to be covered on future episodes, again, go to wellnesssprings.inc.com. You can click the contact link and send those in to us. We'd love to hear from you, and there aren't any dumb questions. They always help people learn. So I hope you enjoyed today. That brings us to the end, and we will see you again next time. Thank you so much for listening.